Hey, welcome to Big Faith Podcast. I'm your host, Irish Porter.
I'm your man, Trent Porter.
So today's going to be a good day. We are talking about resilience, y'all. We're talking about how to deal with how do you gain resilience when you go through something at a young age, an extremely young age. So when Trent was 15 years old,
Yeah, when I was 15 years old.
15, something very big happened to you, a life altering situation.
Yeah, very life altering. At the age of 15, I go back from the age of 14. Let me go all the way back.
14.
From the age of 14, that's when I decided to give my life to Christ.
Amen.
And once I gave my life to Christ, it was a great experience that I had. I got baptized in the river.
In the river.
In an old town.
People don't get baptized in the river no more.
River, man. It's a place called Lost Lake. And I don't know why it's called.
Where is that?
And it's somewhere off somewhere in the woods somewhere. And people used to get baptized. And so I got baptized in where they saw Lost Lake. But I wasn't lost at the time. I gained Christ at an early age, 14.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when life started happening to me. I mean, after I got baptized, life started going on and I started getting attacked by the devil.
That's what tends to happen. The moment you give your life to Christ, then the devil starts coming for you extremely hard. Like it's going to do any and everything to try to tear you down.
Yeah, but at that age, I started becoming aware.
Mm-hmm.
God started speaking to me even the more. And,
So natural. Did you hear God's audible voice?
Man, God spoke to me directly and always have spoken to me directly. And, me personally, I'm not big on prophecy. You know what I'm saying? I know prophecy is real, but, I hear from God directly. I mean, like, I don't need anybody touching me, putting their hands on me, because anything that God tell you, He's already told me. That's how I feel about that.
I get that. Not everybody is able to truly hear God's voice.
Exactly. I'm with that. Everybody doesn't have that. Yeah.
Well, he's speaking to us. He speaks to all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Are you listening?
Yeah.
Are you listening?
That's another.
And is your flesh taking over? Is your flesh taking over? Because sometimes we have too much flesh going on to where we cannot hear God's audible voice.
And I'm gonna get into that, man, because like at that age, my flesh did start taking over.
It took over. So with all of these things that's happening to you, the devil is really trying to put his paws in you, right?
Yeah.
At 14.
At 14, but God had His hands on me the whole time.
Of course, yeah.
Now, was I listening, all the time and doing everything that I heard the voice say? No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. I'm very young at that age, and I'm sexually active.
Ooh, that's early.
Early. To get into it early, man, to dive into it, man, I started being sexually active I just turned 12. On my 12th birthday, I had intercourse with somebody.
Oh my God.
I mean, the day of my birthday, my 12th birthday. So I was sexually active early, too early.
That is, most people that are sexually active that young, something tends to happen to them to make them become sexually active that early. I'm gonna say this, like, I remember this one girl I went to school with. In elementary, she was having sex. And back then, we all would judge her, and it was wrong of us to judge her because we're like, how are you having sex so early, but not knowing someone touched you?
Right.
Not knowing that. But it wasn't until we became adults we found that out. But if a child is being sexually active that early, or something happens.
Yeah. And something happened to me at an early age too, man. I got touched. Never by a man. It was by women. You know what I mean? I got touched at an early age by women.
Because that's very, you have to watch men and women.
Yeah, that's why I'm very cautious with my child. You know what I mean? For both sex. You know, I don't trust anyone because, you know, it happened to me at a very early age. Once again, not with a man. It was all women.
Yeah, and that's what made you become so sexually active early as well.
Yeah, I got introduced to it real earlier than I should have. You know, and then, you know, back to, you know, turning my life over at 14, things started happening to me. And, you know, I was trying to figure life out, you know, at an early age, and God was speaking to me. And, you know, I had an instance where, you know, my mother didn't tell me the truth about something. And the Holy Spirit came to me and told me, you know, that she wasn't being honest, and asked her the question, is this true? And so I asked the question, and she told the truth, and she nearly wrecked the car when I asked the question, and she asked me who told her that. And I said, guess what, believe it or not, it was the Holy Spirit told it to me.
Right. So, but from that moment when you were 14 and you started hearing the voice of God, basically, He had always been with you. So it's interesting that you went down the path that you did because you've always heard that voice and you just avoided it.
I choose at that age, you know, I would listen sometime. Of course, you know, I'm still learning the Lord and stuff like that, learning about the Bible and stuff like that, and I'm young, you know what I mean? And I have a lot of different traumas, you know, and relationship with my parents, my mother. My mother was pretty much a single mother. She was married for at least 10 years. But after that, you know, my stepfather left the house, and I was out here defending for myself.
Yeah, so you needed that guidance from a male, but you didn't have it.
Right.
At that age, you need someone.
And so what happened was, at a young age, I found out that the girl was pregnant, and I had a passion for basketball. I was on a high school basketball team, and I found that out, and I was looking for guidance. You know, I didn't have anyone to talk to. You know, another male figure to talk to. My stepfather was gone at the house, and so I went to this coach, thinking that, you know, he would give me some type of guidance and what I should do next. And I went to his office and sat in his office and said, I said, listen, coach, I got something to tell you. I said, I have this girl pregnant. And what do you think I should do? He said, Porter, either two things you're going to do. Either you're going to play or you're not. And I soaked that in, and it kind of hit my heart real hard. And so
it was the spirit, though.
Yeah, it kind of dampened my spirit. And not kind of, it did dampen my spirit, man. I had a drop, you know, I got a dropping feeling in your heart. And so, but I manned up and looked him in his face and said, and stuck out my hand and shook his hand and said, Coach, this will be my last time playing basketball. And I still tear up to this day because, you know, I had a passion. I had a passion for basketball and sports in general at the time.
And you know, these coaches are more than just coaches. You have to help guide these children into adulthood right along with their parents.
Man,
we're all charged with something.
Man, that's why I have so much respect for Deion Sanders, man, because to watch him, how he cultivate these kids, motivate these kids, and he's not just a football coach.
He's also a father.
He's a father figure, you know what I'm saying? Emotional support for them, you know. Big ups to what he did, because at that time I didn't have that. So what happened next was I had to get a job.
Yeah. So can you tell me about that? Like, you know, when you realized you had to get a job as a teen to support a baby, that clicked in your brain.
It did. I had to.
What was that experience like?
Man, my childhood was over. It completely over. At that moment right there, I became an adult. So what I did, I ended up having a job at a grocery store. At that time, my mom was at a grocery store, and so I went to work, and I just had to go into adult role. I kind of missed my childhood. You know what I'm saying? My teenage years were gone. I had to become an adult.
So that was at 15. So when you had your daughter at 15, correct?
I did have my daughter at 15.
So at 15 years old, you're working, trying to take care of a baby. You're still a child yourself.
Definitely a child, you know.
And your mom had you at what?
My mom had me at the age of 16. So it was a cycle, generational cycle, you know. And so
your mom didn't even know how to truly guide you in that either.
She did, man. My mom had to work too, and I had a sister, and so my mom.
So how old was your sister at the time?
My sister was very young. You know, I can't even remember the age. She was maybe about 2, 3 years old, and so what we would do is rotate schedules. Mama would work because we couldn't work at the same time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mom would go to work, and then I would work in the afternoon after school and stuff like that. And I gave my whole check to my mom, you know, because I'm a child.
You're a child. So was your mom giving the money to your baby mother at the time?
No, no, because for selfish reasons, my mom had some kind of bickering with my child's grandmother, and so she refused me to even take part in participating. So what I would have to do is, I had a car at the time, I would have to sneak just to see my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Just to participate as a father, in my daughter's life.
So what was your relationship with your child's mother at that time?
At that time,
was she understanding? Did she know what was going on? Was she aware of that?
I really don't know. You know what I'm saying?
So y'all never really had that conversation.
We never had that. I never had that conversation. I mean, she was just. I guess it was because of the circumstances about how my mother acted towards the situation. She felt some type of way about it, and so it was just.
So it created a cycle of drama.
It did a whole lot of drama. You know what I mean?
And trauma.
Yeah, and trauma for me, my daughter, and everybody that was involved in the situation. You know what I mean? So
that's really disheartening.
It is disheartening, but moving past that and trauma and having faith in God, you know what I'm saying? I tried to move past it and keep going, never giving up. Even though it was a sting, a hurt in my heart, a heaviness in my heart. And to this day, I still have that heaviness.
Of course, because you have a child in the midst of that situation that's also affected, and you never truly got to connect with her the way that you wanted to.
For real, to this day, I have a strained relationship with my daughter. I love my daughter, of course, but she really has no idea.
She doesn't realize
how much she's loved by me,
and how much she's like you.
Yeah, I mean, that's exact splitting image. It's from the mannerism to, don't take no crap from nobody. You know what I'm saying? But a bullheaded, stubborn. I mean, every spitting image. You know what I mean? So, but
okay. So,
what about you?
What about me?
Yeah, your trauma as a child.
Oh Lord. For the most part, let me tell you what made me extremely resilient. I come from a household where I hope my family is okay with me saying this, but I come from a household where my daddy was mean. When I tell you mean, like he was feared by so many people, but I love that man to death. You know,
Jabbar.
that's my father.
Mm-hmm.
But he was mean. I grew up not hearing I love you.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I never heard I love you from my parents until I was grown.
Yeah, that's why it was so hard for you to receive love from me.
Of course.
You know what I mean? I used to tell you, I love you, and you never said it back.
But you know what? I had no problem saying it to the wrong people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I was searching for love from the wrong person.
Right.
So when you came to me,
Mm-hmm.
and you're sitting in front of me, you're telling me you love me, and I'm looking at you like,
you didn't trust me.
how can you love me? You don't know me.
This what don't really love me.
This ninja don't know me. He don't love me. That's what I was thinking.
I got you.
You know, but that created a lot of trauma for me. And it also made me not trust people. So like how I am now and how I used to be, totally different person. And I tell people all the time, please don't poke at her. Don't poke at that old me. You know, I'm still changing, I'm still evolving because realistically, I can shut it off. I can shut people off. I can just cut people off. I can do that. Those are parts of my trauma where I can just cut you off.
I can do the same thing, man, because I felt all alone. I felt for the majority of my life, I felt like I was by myself. I was out here. I left home at 17 years old. 17.
What? Hold on. Did you leave home or were you kicked out?
No, I was kicked out. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a hard time with trust. After the closest person to me, I felt like I couldn't trust. And to this day, I have a problem with trusting anybody. And
I remember when I first started dating you, your mom came to me and she was like, listen, he's just not gonna trust you. Well, like I'm just trying to tell you now, he's not gonna trust you. And I'm like, okay. She's like, he's not gonna give you no money. And I'm looking at her like, baby, I got the card. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going.
Yeah.
I am not that woman.
I mean, but you have to find your person in order to,
and I found you.
Get the trust. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I've been through a lot of breezes, you know what I'm saying? Passing through us, before I can get to where I'm at now. Where I'm at mentally, where I'm at spiritually, and where I'm at physically. You know what I mean? I've been through a lot to get to this moment. And it was all God seeing me through all of this shit. All the pain, all the suffering, And will I do it all over again? Yeah, as long as I got God on my side, man, who could be against me? That's what it says.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to take this moment to truly thank God for you.
Yeah.
Because if it was not, and I'm going to thank God too. I'm going to thank God first and foremost because He loved me and you so much to the point where He gave us each other.
Yeah. I didn't think I would ever be at this point in life where I could find someone that I trust, that I truly love, and can be truly genuine with, and share my pain, my hurts, and my goals and my dreams and my passion with. I never expected that, but God knew it at the time.
He knew what you needed. He knew what I needed, right. And He gave us just that in each other. Because I remember like the things that I used to always like. I guess it came off as a nag. My exes about when you stepped in my life, you naturally did it. You didn't have to ask.
Right.
Like
it was in my nature. It's what I did.
And the reason why things happened so fast for us because it felt so right.
Right.
Like my friends had nothing negative to say, my family, which is, to be honest with you, unheard of.
Man, I heard the voice of Jesus. like him. I heard a voice of Jesus. I did, and I listened. At that time, I was searching. I had been through a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was also in the streets, really. To be honest with you, real hard.
Let's go back to you 17 being kicked out, and when you were 17 and you got kicked out, you moved to Haines City, right?
I moved to Polk County. I did.
Okay, so with you moving to Polk County, you moved with a man that at that time you thought was your father and was not your father, correct?
No, I knew he wasn't my father, but I had at that moment I had nowhere to go, and he took me in.
Right.
He took me in, and I had to get a job, and I couldn't live there for free, and I wanted to work. I had to work. I've always been, hardworking kid at that time. I kept a job, so I immediately got a job in Haines City, in Polk County. And what happened was I still was, in the streets a little bit. You know what I mean? So I got involved in the streets in Polk County and worked every day.
But what was going through your mind when you had to move?
It was a lot of pain.
Yeah, because I can imagine.
A lot of anguish, I built up a lot of anger.
Who was it towards?
Just life in general at that time,
Because I can only imagine moving in that situation.
I had a lot of hurt from my mother, my parents, and I just felt like she really gave up on me. You know what I'm saying? At that time, you know what I'm saying? But one thing I can say about moving to Polk County was it made a man out of me. It made a man out of me because I realized there's absolutely no one who's going to take care of you. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody.
And I never had the mindset of nobody. I wasn't lazy or anything, or wouldn't go to work, or how some kids just don't want to do nothing. I wasn't a kid. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew I had to take care of myself. So in that situation of moving, I moved in with him and his wife, and I paid a third of the bill. Oh. Everybody paid something towards the bill, and I ended up getting another job, 2 jobs, and I'm working 2 jobs, and I don't know what they was doing with their finances, but I was stacking bread, anywhere I could, And then at that point, they started asking me for money. You know what I'm saying? Can I borrow this? Can I do that?
Talking about resilience.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was just, it was a hard time, But it matured me. It made a man out of me. And at the time, I wasn't going to church at all. Nothing.
So
no Sundays, no Sunday school, no nothing.
So where were you getting your was God still talking to you in those moments?
In those moments, no. Because I wasn't trying to hit God because I was so hurt. I was so hurt. I had trauma.
So now I just recently found this out. Yeah, I was listening to a word about it too. But when he moved to Haines City, he started playing basketball. In the streets for money. That was one of your hustles.
Yeah, me and my friends, gathered up and we would go to, Dundee. We would go to Winter Haven. We would go to Orlando, and then we would play for money. Yeah.
So you told me and Caleb recently about a situation where y'all was playing.
Oh man, we was in Winter Garden, and my friend Junior, he had a big mouth. Right, he talked trash, and so we was playing these guys, and we bought them. And, man, we had the whole project about to whoop out. You know what I'm saying? I said, man, Junior, you got to stop talking trash, bro. You know what I'm saying?
So what? Okay, tell us that story. What happened? So y'all playing the game, he talking trash, and then the boys got real mad. And they wanted to fight y'all. Now, y'all, they were in the worst project.
Hey, listen, so I told you, I said, man, you gotta stop talking trash, man. Not what he calling people, and I'm seeing it transpire now. And I like, I'm a fighter, right? But I know when I'm outnumbered. You know what I'm saying? So what we did was end up running into this girl's apartment, waiting till they left.
The whole project was out there to whoop y'all
I mean, yes.
The whole project.
Yes. And so
talking about being put in a situation, I bet that they kicked in.
no, I really didn't think about, I wasn't really thinking about God at that time, man. I was just doing my own thing, just living life at that time.
Gotcha.
And so, what transpired, after that was, they dispersed and we were able to leave and get out of there.
Right.
With our lives, because at that time
y'all got out by the
they was killers. They was killers, man. One of the worst projects in Orlando. Yeah, so
well, you went through some things.
That's just a surface.
Yeah, that's just surface.
That's surface stuff, you know what I mean?
We came on, we wanted to just talk a little bit about that's one of the stories in the book, and not the basketball story, but just diving in a little bit deeper into that situation of him having his first child at 15 years old.
It altered my life.
Yes, how it transpired, what really happened, and I want to just take this moment to thank everybody who has bought the book, and we had so much positive feedback. We truly thank y'all for buying the book.
Thank you for supporting Big Faith.
We are so grateful on another level.
Yeah.
And God did some big things in our life.
I hope this book inspires. It's for me, and for both of us, it's for to encourage others. You know what I mean? Keep fighting because you don't know what's on the horizons. You don't know what's next. And if you give up, you'll never find out. God has a purpose for everyone. Everybody's life. So, by saying, don't give up. Don't give up, because I never knew that I would be in this position in my life. Yeah. Never knew that, God would bless me like he blessed me, because, I come from poverty. I was, when my mother had me, she was 16. We moved into what called the projects, 1010 Basin Street. And I grew up, then she got married and I moved to Vaughn. Vaughn is in my heart because I was raised there. That's where a lot of stuff transpired at. You know what I mean? But I'm from Tallahassee, and I'm what they call a project baby. And I'm very proud of it because good things do come out of the project, and I'm a result of that.
You're a great thing.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Beautiful, beautiful person. That's why God put us together. Yeah. So thank you for joining us on Big Faith Podcast. And my saying is Big Faith, Big Blessings. Enjoy your day.
Thank y'all.